Hello, and welcome to Proper Curious, the podcast for down-to-earth creatives. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Liana, and we're two sisters exploring the world through a curious lens in a quest to live more creatively.
So if you feel like that's you, grab a brew and join us. Hello and welcome to Proper Curious.
Woo-hoo!
Welcome back.
Happy New
Year 2026. We're excited for another year of podcasting and learning where this will take us. And yeah, if you are new here, really, we created this podcast so that we could explore a varied range of topics and experiences and use it to shunt us into creativity. Shunting and seeing what it'll bring. So if you are new here, we usually go over the topic from the last episode and see what creativity came about before we move on to the next topic. So how's it gone for you since our last episode was in memoriam?
Well, I've had a very musical time. I've got quite a lot to say about this, Rach, because I have had
I am curious.
A musical burst.
Yes.
I was really intrigued by the burials and people being buried face down, or like the vampire burials,
like suspicions around
or
burial.
People who were like particularly feared or outlawed, and how they were like how there were certain practices around how they were buried. And I just really wanted to write a song about it. I just had it.
Yeah.
I had this
That's
need.
so interesting, because when we were doing the episode, you were like, oh, the eye jewellery is really inspiring me. And I was definitely expecting something around that. And then
Well, I was going to do some artwork, and then actually, I don't know. I just was taken up with this.
Funny, isn't it?
So basically, the first thing that I did, because there's been a domino effect of offence here. The first thing I did
was flicked your hair.
Oh, domino
effect.
I've got fringe now. I'm flicking it.
Oh, she's got a fringe now and she's artsy.
Well, bangs, I think, is the cooler word.
Right, come on then. Anyway, what have you bursted out?
I've bursted out a song, and I called it. I called it "Bury My Face Down," but putting my face down.
Putting my face down.
And I have made use of my SoundCloud account, and it's just it's quite like a really droney organ sounds. I was going for that really like guttural organ sound, and then I just did some like really.
What exactly is a guttural organ sound?
Deep, like heavy sounding, a little bit graty. Do you know? I don't know. I just loved it.
Sorry.
And then I just layered some vocals, ethereal vocals over the top, and wrote some like very simple lyrics, really. And I did that. So if you want to listen to it, you can go to the SoundCloud, or you can.
And this is really good because this is a landmark occasion for Liana.
Well, it is a landmark occasion for me, and I shall tell you why. Well, I think because I have been writing songs since I was like 13.
Yeah.
Back in the days of Evanescence and Amy Lee. Oh, I loved her.
Oh, yeah. God,
Little goth me, yeah.
We were like, the emotions.
Me to life. It's just tragic.
Wake me up.
I loved it. And then, so I've been writing songs since then, and I don't have a problem as such sharing my piano songs, but why this is significant for me is I've never shared my singing online.
Yeah, but your singing's great.
It's all right. It's, but whatever.
Well, I'm saying it's great.
I don't, it's not perfect, but whatever, it is what it is. And I think, I've never shared my voice, so that was really bold. And I think there's power in being vulnerable, though, isn't there? There's power in like allowing yourself to be vulnerable and choosing that vulnerability.
Well, I'm really proud of you.
Oh, thanks.
And because it's obviously you've been really shy about sharing the music, even though you're like a phenomenal singer, phenomenal musically, and you should really have been doing it all before.
Yeah.
But you're cracking it out. You're getting it out there. And it's being vulnerable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, and just being like, I've made this, there you go.
It just is what it is, isn't it? But yeah, I really enjoyed doing it. I like full on full throttle. Had that period of like 2 full days of just like I couldn't think of anything else, and I really wanted to just get back and put Dylan to bed so I could carry
Oh,
on
that's
like doing
so
this
good. Oh,
song.
I
And
love
I've
that.
not
I
felt like
love
that for
that.
ages. And I think because like I knew I
I've
was
not
like,
felt like that
no,
for ages.
this time I'm actually feeling like I was like,
Inspired.
I'm gonna share this, like, and I'm, I'm
Yeah, it's
ready,
really good.
like, and I'm just thought, screw it, I'm doing it.
I think as you get
Um,
older as well, you just think, well, if not now, then when?
yeah,
What am I waiting for, really?
yeah, definitely.
And who cares?
Yeah. So yeah, I did that. That was my like the song link to the episode, and then after that, I kind of was just like looking through my kind of backlog of like songs that I'd written over the because I've got loads of songs on my computer that
Yeah.
mainly piano songs that I've written
No
and composed.
way.
Well, and I
Oh,
haven't
they're
shared
so good.
like piano music that I've written before online. I've shared that,
You need to post your SoundCloud on our Instagram, though, the Proper Curious
but quite a
Instagram.
lot of the singing ones. Oh yeah, I do. Quite a lot of the singing ones I've always been too shy about, or they've been based on like experiences of my own that I don't particularly want to share. Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's just kind
Yeah,
of
just
like
not a bit too
so.
much. Huh?
I think having that again, going back to that point of having the topic, made it easier to just like distance my personal feelings from it a bit. And that kind of helped me to share my singing because it wasn't anything, I wasn't singing about like anything to do with me really or my experiences. It was a theme. So that made it easier. But then after that, so I was looking through my computer and I was like, right, what can I kind of work on next or try and finish off?
Ooh.
And then for ages, like I've been wanting to. There's this song that I wrote like years ago in COVID times. And do you remember when Grandma was in hospital?
Oh,
With
yeah.
so Grandma
Yeah.
was in hospital for like 7 weeks with COVID in 2020. Um,
Yeah.
and we all thought she was like going to die, didn't we?
Yeah.
Then, and then, but obviously, then you weren't allowed to visit, were you? Um,
No, but they went in because they thought she was going to pass away.
so we were all kind of like sending messages and stuff. And like, there's this video that I've got of when like Dylan was like 3, and me and Mark and Dylan are sat at a table, and
So
Dylan
that's
like,
Nana's son.
yeah. So he was like, we're just sending this like, hope you're doing well, sort of type message to try and like
Yeah, we were all
cheer
doing
her
video
up.
messages, weren't we?
Um,
Hmm.
And Dylan just said some really sweet words during that, and Mark was like, "We need to keep this." So I put that audio. Managed to remove the audio from the video on my computer.
And it's hilarious
It
comment,
is
though.
hilarious. Yeah, it's
Because
hilarious
Dylan was
comment.
like, like, Leanna's going, hi, Grandma, hope you're well, all serious. And then Dylan just goes, well, I hope you don't die at some point.
Hope you don't die at
Die
some
at some
point.
point.
But it was
Which has become
hilarious.
like
But it
a
was like,
hilarious video for our family.
but it was bittersweet
Um,
though because the what he follows that up with is
yeah, he was
really
lovely,
just
lovely
lovely.
words, backtracking out of that. At
But that's
3,
more why I want to
very
keep it because
wise.
it's special, not because it is funny, obviously. But
It is
um,
really funny.
the it was sweet. Like I just thought it was really like
And
a
Grandma
lovely
didn't die at
moment.
that point, and she
No, she
did get
didn't.
to see that video at
She
some point, and
did.
she was laughing her head off.
She did
So
find it funny. But
that was
anyway, so
good.
I'd written this song back then, thinking about like all the home videos that we've got of me and you and Nick and Emma,
Mm,
and I was like, I'm gonna put like it was all very
that's our cousins.
80s, all very
Yeah.
80s, and I was like created this song like electronic, purely electronic song that was very 80s sounding, and I put the audio clip from Dylan over the top of it, um, and I shared that as well. Because I thought, in a way, because she did die, didn't she, a couple of years ago in the end?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just thought that was a little ode to Grandma in a way, and
Yeah, and to
on the
like
theme of
just
in memoriam. That's another way we can
family
remember
and
people. And yeah,
yeah,
nice, nice. So I just think that has been quite significant for me because I just haven't
had a
allowed
burst like that.
myself. I haven't had a burst like that for a while. I mean, I've written like I've started many songs, but just I'd never finish
Wrapped
them.
it up.
Or I say I've never finished them, but really I probably have. But I
Yeah,
never
but
think
you're
they're. I
overanalyzing
never.
it.
Yeah, a perfectionist, like, and I never think they're done or finished or good enough or whatever. And then I kind of caught myself, and I was like, hang on a second, Leanna, because this is what I've done previously in the past. Do you actually need validation for this at all from
No,
anyone? And I was like, no,
good.
I don't. And I was like, do you know what?
Yeah,
Stuff it. I actually don't. But then I started thinking, well, why am I sharing? Why do I feel the need to share?
because people benefit so much from it. Like I hear people's poems and songs, and I'm like, whoa, that's so either important for me personally or so inspiring or so, like prompts such good reflections. And that's the point to me, isn't it?
Yeah. And I
Like
don't,
you're contributing to the pool, giving back.
yeah, no. So, well, there is that, but also I think like it's such a big part of like the music stuff is such a big part of like who I am. Do you know what I mean? That I'm
Hmm.
like, if people are to know me properly,
Yeah.
this is this is who I am, and I want people to see that
This is
about
me.
me. This is me.
Oh.
I know that proper sounds cringe, doesn't it? But like it's
No, but
true.
that's true.
So I,
No, but sorry,
you know what I
I'm
mean?
laughing, but I totally agree. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it needs to
So
be
it's a
out there
big
because
time.
that's who you are as a person, and it's a bit
Yeah.
bizarre that nothing is out there because you do it all the time,
Yeah.
you know?
So I'm chuffed with that.
So that is, I'm chuffed with that too.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
my big
actually think it was
breakthrough.
really interesting to listen to the whole thought process actually, because I think that's probably something that we can all empathize with.
Yeah.
Well, I am jealous of your creative burst because I have been having an ongoing difficult period.
She was saying she's done that, did that amazing witch poem, and then like she can't top it now.
Died.
So,
Well, yeah,
everything else
I
is
mean, I've
rubbish.
written, well, so no,
No,
so I
I'm joking.
usually write poems that are like personal about my personal feelings, and I've actually been really busy at work and whatnot,
Mm,
just life busyness, and then um, I think that sometimes like robs you of really thinking too deeply about stuff.
mm.
Anyway, what I've done recently in the last few weeks is started meditating again,
Yes, that
which
is,
is really beneficial for
and
me.
also, yeah, totally crucial for your creative practice.
And also being in nature more. Because
Yeah,
I think with it
nature.
being winter, I had reduced that because it was, at the end of the year, it was
Awful
raining
weather.
so much. It
Oh,
was like
yeah.
really raining. So there's a few weekends that I couldn't get out, but the last 3 weeks we've had periods where it's been like really, really cold and frosty, but blue skies, which is like great. So I've been out in the
Mm.
nature. And part of that getting out in the nature was we went to Duddingston Kirkyard, which actually, it's obviously it's tying in with the in memoriam. We were looking at graves, and I was thinking about all of your knowledge on graves and
Grave Eyes,
gravestones.
bye.
And then we saw in Duddingston Kirkyard, which is a Norman church graveyard next to the lock, next to Arthur's Seat in Edinburgh. There's a grave there that is a little tiny, mostly buried cross that just says "We Jim"
Oh,
on
wee
it.
Jim.
Yeah. So Wee Jim was a 5-year-old lad who died of TB,
Oh, my
and
goodness.
he was the son of an unmarried mill girl who worked in a flax mill at either Duddingston or Portobello, so somewhere between there probably. Um, and
Mm.
he went into work with her, obviously because there was no one to look after the kid, and they were thinking that the conditions in the mill might have not been so good for him and
Mm.
contributed to him. But anyway, I was just thinking about it. Obviously, to buy a stone was so expensive, but all of the mill women clubbed together to buy this to get it engraved for him. And I was just thinking and more about like, what kind of a little guy was he? Like, for everybody to be so bothered because child mortality was so high
Mm.
in those times. Probably all those women had
And wee Jim, as it
lost.
writing that on his
Yeah,
stone,
is
is
very
is a
like,
very affectionate
yeah,
term, isn't it? Oh,
yeah, it's like
that's really
endearing. Yeah.
sad.
So that's twice I've been there now and seen that. It was nice to like go and wish him happy Christmas and things. But
Oh, wee Jim.
as I was thinking about what would lead people to club together in a group, and I was thinking he must have been a wee little character,
Mm, hmm.
because he must have just made people laugh so much that he was genuinely missed.
Yeah.
His 5 years. But so really I've written a poem and it's called Wee Jim.
Oh, goodness me, do I need to get some tissues? I probably do, don't
I don't
I?
know.
Oh, golly.
So I'm gonna read it now. Wee
Okay.
Jim. Water calm, containing the skies, Tam's old boat held faithful. There's music in her eyes, he smiled. She pulled her shore around as the sun melted into embers. His soft kiss had long gone, and Babe now lay within, where fear and joy reside. Sitting by the fireside, she sang, "Fool for love I am, fool for love I am." Sweet cries in the morning light, How is my babe? She asked. Alas, he's all right. The music in her eyes began to sing, and she looked at him, held him close, whispering, We'll be right, Sonny Jim. We'll be right, my Sonny Jim. Daily they walked together about the hill, through the heather to the mill. Sorry, son, she said. Dinny worry, ma'am, he said, his eyes full of glee. There's Nanny, Maggie, Molly, and me. I'm happy as can be. Wee Jim did sing the song of his mother's eyes. His laughter filled weary hearts. If a child could be wise, then he could fill carts with wisdom. Such a small soul, beacon in the dark, playing out his role through every mischievous lark, until one day the sickness came, and Wee Jim was taken away. Suffice to say, no heart was ever the same. Music left those weeping eyes, Nancy, Maggie, Molly, and no me. But love gave many a treasured penny. Oh, love gave many a treasured penny for this wee grave. Carve this stone for all to see. More than this, bones I used to be. Carve my name for all time. From nothing I came, now I am divine. Are you
Oh,
crying?
yeah,
Oh,
that's really nice. Oh,
I
wee
know.
Jim.
I thought it was nice to remember him.
Oh,
It's
that's
just funny how
beautiful.
much of a difference like kids can make in a short time, eh?
Oh
I'm
dear.
sorry.
This
You
has
know,
took a turn. Oh.
it's been a revelation tonight.
Oh, just a roller coaster of emotions.
I'm taking my jacket off. I'm up.
Oh, I just think that that's really, that's a real person,
Yeah,
and like how absolutely, if his mum was still alive, she'd be so chuffed knowing someone had written that.
remembering us.
Yeah,
I think it's
a
just so
poem
nice to
about
think
her
about,
child.
like, although she was unmarried and that was so scorned upon,
Oh dear.
they, number one, are burying him in that graveyard, and the women were clubbed together. It's such a sense of community and
Yeah.
support and love and
Hmm.
just there's so many things about that bring out, although it's a tragedy, bring out like the best of people um
Yeah.
around that. And that's, I think,
I
what
think
really like
sometimes
touched
it
me thinking about
cuts
it.
through the crap, doesn't it, when something like that happens and you're just like, actually, nothing else
Well, it's
matters
just
than
nice
just
to see
like
how like
being there
people
for each other.
respond, how people respond.
Mm.
And the new, even the news now, like it's so awful and things are awful. But then when you look in, like I always do
Yeah, the
think
community
when you're
effort.
finding it really when you're finding it really difficult to look for the helpers and to look at what side that's bringing out in people that are helping and caring, it
Yeah.
always like saves a bit of your soul, doesn't it? Because you're just like, oh, you can find it. That's a bit
Yeah.
twee, but it's true.
Oh no, it's totally true. You're totally right. Well, I thought that
Anyway,
was really good
oh,
and powerful. Well done, Rach. That was a really special one.
special one. So,
Yeah.
our random episode.
Moving on.
Moving on, she's got a bright red nose.
Just
Do you want a cup of
can't
tea?
see.
Have a sip of your tea.
I might have to go and get a tissue.
So, as we are going on a tangent, we'd mentioned from in memoriam a lot of bits about churches, monasteries, abbeys, stained glass, blah, blah, blah. And then we thought, monks. And then we thought,
Monks
well, we
live
initially
in
thought
abbeys.
Bede.
Bede.
Because we kept mentioning Jarrow, didn't we? I'm like, we need to go to Jarrow.
Jarrow.
A need for Bede.
A need for bead. And also when we were doing the runes one, he popped up, didn't
Yeah?
he?
It was flipping beads all over, right?
He's got-
So,
we were like, we have actually got a
bead
need
here,
for bead.
bead there. We have got a need for Bede. And so we were like, yeah, let's just do Bede.
Let's get it out.
Get it out there. Because this is what everyone wants to know in this day and age. What's Bede done for me? Eh? The question on everyone's lips. Slash nobody. But who cares? In the spirit of creativity. Oh dear,
Sorry,
just
suffering.
joking. Um, so then we started prepping for the ep, and then it was really funny because I in the morning had texted Aileen saying, do you want to go to Durham on Saturday? Like the day before Saturday. That'll be a Friday. And
Friday morning.
yeah, and then later in the day you text me saying, I'm on my way to Durham.
Because I'd
I'm
woken
on
up
my
on the
way to
Friday.
Durham.
I'd woken
There's
up
a
on the Friday
spare room.
morning. I'd been concocting this plan at like midnight the night before.
Yeah,
Um,
and I was starting to think of
and I
it.
was like,
Weird.
oh, and I said to Mark in the morning, do you fancy it? And he was like, oh, I'm not really up for that. So me and Dylan were like, well, we'll just go. I found a really cheap Premier Inn. And
Yeah.
I literally was driving to Durham when I messaged Rach like via the phone dictation message thing, and
And I was
like,
at
hello,
work.
Rach. I am messaging you from the car. Do you want? We've got a spare bed in the
Do
Premier
you
Inn.
want to go to
Do you
Durham?
want to come to Durham tonight? Um,
And I was like, yes.
and then
I'm
I
booking the
thought, oh, she's
train.
at
No.
work, so she's not gonna, because I don't know what the trains are like. And then it just transpired. Yeah, she's there.
Yeah, I was wanting to go anyway.
You wanted to go
But
anyway?
I just went down literally after work. Got
Yeah,
home, packed my pants, got on the train, and then I was in a Premier Inn having a coffee
yeah, and a donut.
and
Um,
a donut
I
and reading about Bede.
read
And
a
then we
bit.
went to Durham Cathedral, which, by the way, absolutely 10 out of 10.
10
They're
out of 10.
smashing it out the park in Durham
They
Cathedral.
really are. And
The
also the volunteers are amazing on
volunteers,
staff.
amazing.
Really cool.
Every
Really
single
cool.
area we went to, they had loads of stories to tell us. They were really enthused. They were so knowledgeable,
Yeah, really good.
really engaging. Oh,
Mm,
so should we just explain who Bede is? Bede's
yeah.
remains are in Durham Cathedral, hence why we went.
So you may
So,
shall I say a little bit and then you can chip
yeah,
in? So it was like commonly known as the Venerable Bede. It's written on his tombstone, and he's buried in Durham,
because
Durham
he is
Cathedral.
venerable. Yeah.
Venerable, but it's in Latin, isn't it? And that's where here lies the bones of the Venerable Bede. So he
But
was
wasn't that a
born.
title that you needed to achieve?
Don't know. So
Yet
well,
again,
venerable just means like
don't know.
he's amazing. We'll Google it
Different title for
quickly in a
everyone.
minute. So he was born in 672 or 673, who knows?
Yeah.
And he died in 735 AD or CE. And he was a Benedictine monk. Benedictine monk.
Was he?
Yes, he was.
So he was born in the Kingdom of Lindsey, which is Lincolnshire.
Yes, it was Anglo-Saxon times,
So
which are
his
not the
ancestors,
Vikings,
which
right?
are not the Viking times, thank you. But the
No,
Vikings were
no,
there.
they did overlap, but the Anglo-Saxons are
The
not
Vikings,
Vikings.
I thought the Viking era was an era in itself. Um,
Well, it is. It's just at the same time. It runs
well, I'm
concurrently.
very confused. But anyway,
Just
sorted
runs at
out
the.
now. I understand it. The Vikings were there and the
Do
Anglo-Saxons were
you?
there.
Okay,
Yes, because the Vikings ruined the monastery.
they
Um,
did at
so that
Lindisfarne.
means they were both there.
Yes.
Um, the Germanic ancestors of Bede came to Britain in the 5th century.
Hmm.
Interesting that, eh? Anyway, then at age 7, he was donated to Wearmouth
Donated?
Monastery. So my question was, Bede, Nepo baby or courageous orphan?
Who knows? I mean, there was some evidence, wasn't there, to say that he may have come from a wealthier family,
Yeah, and they
but
also
it could
thought,
be just it could be disputed.
so the like abbot of that place was called Benedict Biscop.
He founded
He
the St.
founded the
Paul's
abbey.
Monastery in Jarrow and the Monk Wearmouth one, St. Peter's as well, didn't he?
Yeah, Wearmouth. Yeah, because Bede initially went to Wearmouth and then he obviously went to Jarrow.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, there was some theories that I read that he might have been related to Benedict Biscop because of their unusual names, and both of their names
Ah, right.
mean religious things. So Biscop means bishop, which tended
Not
to
Biscoff.
no, not Biscoff because I was like
Biscoff.
Biscoff.
Like the nice
Um,
biscuits.
he yeah, his family like probably had religious intentions for him, naming him that.
Yeah.
And Bede means prayer.
Does it? Hmm.
Yeah. So that's interesting. But we don't really know that at all. And both of them hated nepotism in the monasteries. Like they
Yeah.
both said that. So that's a bit unprovable. But at age 12,
Hmm.
plague for the first time
Yeah.
struck Wearmouth and Jarrow. That wiped out quite a lot of people, which may have led to him being made a deacon at age 19. So that's 6 years earlier than canon law dictates.
Ah, right. Okay. So they were like, oh
So,
no, we've got no one
like,
else.
maybe they're like, quick, fast track him.
Let's
Um,
quick.
and at age 30, he was made a priest.
But he was
Um,
clearly like really, really intelligent and focused and dedicated to his work, wasn't he? Because of the main
yeah.
reason we know about him.
Well, he was like obviously the main guy who wrote the first bits of our history.
Yeah.
Like he wrote a little bit, he didn't write dates or anything, which is very frustrating now, but about the Celts and the Picts and things. And that's the first we know of anything to do with anything.
Mm,
And he also made up well, he popularized the BC AD time system.
yeah, because that had been actually kind of created like 200 years earlier by
Yeah,
Dionysius Exiguus, who was that?
Dionysius.
Oh,
Is
yeah,
it?
Dionysius. Oh, yeah, that sounds a bit better, doesn't it? Dionysius Exiguus. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, all right
Celsius.
then. Well, usually it's you that doesn't pronounce things right. But...
Look, it's
um,
fine to be vulnerable and make a
and
mistake.
he was actually from the like a region on the western coast of the Black Sea. So,
Oh,
which is an area that is now split between modern day Romania and Bulgaria. So he's like Eastern.
oh, that's
So
so
he was the
interesting.
one who came up with that idea, and then it was Bede that like made it a thing. But that
Yeah,
was
and so
like,
Bede
yeah,
was like really. Do you know what was interesting in reading about him? He's just very specific. But what one thing I read was that in the time that he lived, it was like to have original thoughts was like less respected than being able to like cite sources because
yeah,
obviously books were such a high status item because there
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
printing presses. They were
yeah.
written out by hand. Only
Uh-huh.
like monasteries, abbeys had these, and they
Mm,
were massive, like
yeah, yeah.
really
And they
thick.
would, and it
Like
was their job to make copies of them, wasn't it? So that
they
they could
needed
then,
trolleys to push them on the
yeah,
books,
yeah,
and they very much spent a lot of time writing.
yeah.
But Bede was like so obsessive with the numbers and stuff. He like worked out a system of counting up to like using up one hand as like each joint and segment of the finger. And oh, honestly, there was like well complex
Oh
bits that I was
wow,
like,
I've not read.
what are you even talking about? I don't even understand. Yeah, probably just Google Bede and his hands and his counting.
We have
Yeah,
listed some sources of our information this time, so I could always
yeah.
upload them onto the website. Um, Probablycurious.com.
Um, yeah, one of the main books I read was Simon Webb's In Search of Bede, which was from Durham
Hmm.
Cathedral Bookshop, and it was very
Oh
good.
yes, I remember you buying that now. Yeah,
Um,
because he
that
wrote, didn't he?
was
He
very interesting.
translated over 40 texts.
Did he?
Yeah, and then he also wrote 68 texts as
Wow.
well on subjects ranging from like grammar and spelling to nature and science and history of it was like it was the most famous one was like the ecclesiastical history of the English people, which is
Yeah,
but that's considered like the earliest sort of comprehensive history of England. So he's like mega dedicated. But the thing is with Bede, he wrote like travel guides and stuff, but without actually traveling.
yeah. Well, he did a concise version of that Holy Places text, didn't he? But that was written by somebody else, but he did a concise version. But he then got very niche on the detail of like the layout of um the holy city and things. He was very fact-based, which I think is like quite sweet and
And
earnest, you know?
he did note his sources in his texts,
Yeah,
didn't he?
like
Like put like
obsessively
initials down and footnotes and all that sort of stuff. Like really, really he was
detailed.
really that's why I was like, we should probably write all our sources down for this research because Bede was
And I
so
think like
he'd be
he
offended.
was so thorough and so earnest. But I
Mm,
think what one of the things that struck me as like quite funny is how magical the beliefs were in Anglo-Saxon times,
Mm,
and how he even reported ghost stories and miracles that are quite like magical,
yeah,
you know,
amazing.
like deadly seriously. There was this guy that like died and came back
What?
to life.
Jesus.
No, it was a guy called Dryathelm
All
who
right.
died and came back to life
What, like,
and
actually did?
reported seeing a man in shiny robes and the
Oh,
pit of hell, which was fires, and the edge of heaven, which looked like a nice garden.
oh,
And
that's good then.
Bede not only believed him, but thought he needed to like pass that on, write it down. And
Well, I
this
guess.
Dryathelm became a
Mm,
monk in Melrose Abbey. He was so inspired by his vision.
I guess
And
that's quite
he,
religious, isn't it? Having
segue, this like Dryathelm guy,
uh-huh.
oh God, I don't know how to say it, but he used to punish himself by standing praying in freezing rivers up to his neck.
That's really
Didn't punish
dangerous.
himself for, but um,
Well, that was quite a common practice for some monks, though, wasn't it?
yeah, because even
I don't know which
thinking
type of monks actually. I didn't do that
at
reading.
all, I think,
Was it
yeah, they're all
like
quite
penance and
serious, you
stuff?
know,
Mm,
and like it was sin for so much stuff, wasn't it? Like even speaking too loudly or too much or
yeah,
standing too
or
close to people.
not doing your prayers during meal times. They have to eat like in silence and pray or
Or
listen to prayers or
I read the funniest
ooh.
sentence like thinking too much about women was a spiritual emergency. I was like, how do you know when it's too much though?
The alarm's going
When's
off.
the line? Where's the line? Oh my God, it's been a solid 1 minute now. Spiritual emergency van is on the way. Woo.
Oh no. Oh
Um,
dear.
yeah, so we went round, didn't we? And we just got to see his he's in the Galilee Chapel, which is part of the Durham
Mm.
Cathedral.
Yeah, which
He
is
he was
amazing.
originally buried at Jarrow, the abbey
Aha.
that we went to also.
Yep.
Um, and then Vikings like ransacked, ruined, totally ripped apart that abbey
Those
in
Vikings.
the 9th century, I think it was.
Aha.
And so his bones were still there, and he was moved in the 11th century to Durham Cathedral, which he wouldn't have known in his time because it wasn't a significant place, Durham, and there was no cathedral there. He then was moved into that Galilee chapel in 1370. So it's just amazing in itself, isn't it, when you
Mm.
stood there thinking like that's literally been that well, he's literally been in there since the 11th century.
Yeah.
And we got to go around, didn't we? And we saw Saint Cuthbert's literal coffin
Like
and stuff
shrine.
stuff that was in it. Um,
Mm.
like that silk that was like 22 karat gold
Yeah, amazing.
thread
Really
and
cool.
his little
And
like
really
prayer
well
book.
preserved, actually. They've done a
Just,
good job
just
there, actually.
amazing.
That museum was great.
And
Um,
then also we went up, didn't we, to the original dormitory for the monks, and it had the original wooden ceiling that was from what was it like 900 and something, I think.
there was also a witch mark on the wall in there, which I was
Was it?
splashing. Yes, there was. There was an apotropaic mark
No, you didn't point that out to me.
because you were like off.
Oh,
But there was also the big Lego build of Durham Cathedral, which Dylan was fascinated with. But yeah, the museum, which you do have to pay to get in.
they had all the old manuscripts.
Mm. And it really clearly explained it as well. And you could sit in little booths and listen to the chanting or the
I missed this.
Gregorian chants. See, you just don't take
And
it
also
in.
Harry Potter was filmed in some bits, so Liana did some really cringe wand work in the
Hey,
quad.
I was excited about that.
So it was the quad scenes
Harry
where they're going around the
Potter.
corridor. So then Prof Thingamabob's office or whatever it was. Um,
I loved it.
okay.
So
So
we did that, and then we drove over to the ruins of the Jarrow Monastery, which is at St. Paul's. Yeah, it started to snow loads.
it looked like a flipping Christmas card.
It was really beautiful. Like, well, it started
There
to
was
snow
like
when we were
this
in the
old
cathedral.
stone wall with a tree-lined avenue
I felt like I
to
was
the
in
actual
Narnia.
like Norman church,
Oh,
well, Anglo-Saxon church, and the ruins are attached to that. The church wasn't
yeah.
open, which was like gutting, but
Which was gutting because it did online said it was open. So I was a bit like, come on. What?
come on,
Come
come
st
on.
stick to your
But
opening
we got to
days.
stand in the snow and soak in the ambiance of a ruin. And we got
Mhm.
to see the tiny little window we talked about in the stained glass episode
Yeah,
in real life.
it is
And it was
really
very
tiny.
tiny.
It's so
I was like,
small.
we were like, oh.
Oh, but apparently, if you go in the church, it is actually coloured, isn't it? It's just you can't obviously see that from the outside. But it's next to the River Don as well.
Done.
Don, because a lot of the monasteries were built next to the rivers because that was a mode of transport of getting visitors in and out of. Because they used to have, like, they had like a guest house nearby, didn't they, on the banks that
I don't know.
visitors could stay in. Yeah, they did. It was on the boards, Rach.
Did you read the board still on them?
I read all the boards.
I
Um,
was too busy with my microphone that the batteries ran out.
Yeah, so it was like mainly ruins, but there is part of the old monastery that is built into the chancel of the current church. Well, the current church was built around the chancel, so that's pretty cool. And that's where the window is, isn't it? But it's just so higgledy-piggledy.
Chapter of the
Cha cha
church.
cha. And the Monk Weymouth Jarrow monasteries, they're actually like purpose built to be like a scholarly monastery. Um,
Yeah,
specifically for like learning and books and the library and studying all of that sort of
with
stuff.
a scriptorium.
Yeah, a script. Oh, I love that word.
I'm going to my scriptorium.
Scriptorium.
That's a writing room.
I'm
That's
just
all
gonna
it means.
start calling this room the scriptorium now.
Yeah,
That's it.
like
It's
the
happening.
full-on nerd. 10 out of 10 nerd.
Yeah, yeah, I am. I think we've established that already.
And they were like really like famous though, the like Weymouth Abbey,
Mm.
because
So,
how we know this is Abbot John Paul, who's the chief cantor, which
Cantor.
sounds like a mythical animal to me, but it isn't. It's a singer of St. Peter's in Rome, taught Bede singing, and he was sent by the Pope himself to Weymouth when Bede was a boy.
Yeah.
How mad's that?
Ah, that's really cool, isn't it? Imagine growing up around
Benedict
that.
Benedict Biscop brought him back because he was traveling all over, and Benedict
Yeah,
Biscop
Benedict
bought
Biscop
all the books.
was the traveller, wasn't
Benedict
he?
Biscop bought all the
I,
books.
I still want to call him Benedict Biscoff.
Yeah, I
Um,
know.
he brought all the books, didn't he? Yeah. So Bede didn't actually travel very far. I think there was some Professor Michelle Brown in her book, the theory, Bede's theory of everything, was it? She was talking about how he actually didn't. He was unlikely to have travelled further than like York
Like
or something.
Durham.
Oh
Oh
no, may
yeah.
have to check that. But he didn't really
No, I think that's true.
didn't travel really. But he was
Yeah.
probably
But he
happy
read.
to because he said his main purpose in life was to be in that scriptorium doing what he does,
Yeah.
and reading and translating all these things and copying them down. And oh golly, very dedicated. Anyway, I wonder what he was like as a person though.
I
Like,
think he was a bit mystical as well because
yeah, just fascinated by
was
it. It was
ghosts
he
there.
was a proper he would listen to our podcast. He was proper curious,
He was a proper curious man.
a proper curious
Um,
monk.
yeah, so one avenue that I explored
Hmm.
after passing Bede in his life was generally thinking about monks and monastic life. Because obviously,
Yeah.
like, see, when we're prepping, I'm like, right, I put the Gregorian chanting on, and I was like, right, I'm going to get into the vibe. I'm
Can I
going to
just tell? Can I
feel
just tell you?
like a monk.
I
Hmm?
have, I have set my alarm music as Gregorian chant now
Why?
because I thought it might be quite calming to wake up to.
And you're going
Get
to wear your
out
dressing
of,
gown with a hood.
get out of
I'm
bed,
going to my
Liana.
scriptorium.
But I still keep switching it off and
Bathroom.
not getting up. Um, anyway,
Well,
so
maybe you should
carry on.
sleep in a robe. In fact,
An itchy
monks
robe.
used to sleep sitting up
Did
because it
they?
was too much of a luxury to lie down.
Not all monks, surely.
In the Benedict Award, the sayings of the Desert Fathers in the 7th century, it
Hmm.
said beds were considered suspiciously sinful. Some rules discouraged blankets that were too soft. Okay.
Wow, that is intense.
Fleas were a spiritual problem.
A
This is Helen
spiritual
Gittos in
problem, though.
Liturgy, Architecture and Sacred Places in Anglo-Saxon England.
Why was it a
She's talking
spiritual
about
problem?
because fleas, lice, and worms were seen as a trial sent by God for the strengthening of patience.
Wow.
So you shouldn't kill them, you should bear them.
So
It was
like if you
very
see a
sort of
flea,
Buddhisty.
you're just like,
Yeah, thank you, Jesus. And complaining about food was known as a sin.
well, yeah, because I guess you'd have to be just like grateful
It's in the
for
rule
what
of
you've
Saint Benedict.
got. I did actually read a little bit about what monks ate.
But do you know that it specifically says monastic texts warn against complaining about lentils, wanting salt, missing meat too much.
Yeah,
Don't you
because
complain about
they
my
didn't
lentils?
really eat meat. It
No,
was
well, obviously
especially
not.
the early Benedictine monks didn't
Yeah.
eat red meat. They didn't eat like flesh, because it wasn't seen as the done thing. They did eat fish twice a week and on fast days, but they were mainly vegetarian. So I was like, go monks! But they ate they ate bread, porridge, cabbage, onion, leeks,
That
beans,
needs to be a
peas.
tote.
Go monks! Go veggie monks. Um, herbs, cheese, milk, apples, berries, hazelnuts. Water they drank, or small amounts of ale because it was sometimes safer than drinking the water. I thought it was interesting because I'd read that Bede, on his deathbed, was distributing his items to the fellow monks, that included napkins or handkerchiefs and
Oh,
some peppercorns.
they must have been really expensive.
They were very expensive, but also apparently he quite was interested in cooking and like to use the peppercorns to season the food. But I wonder if that was considered a sin then, if he was like trying
Yeah,
to
because
improve
they
what he
were
was
selling like
got.
ancient cookbooks at Durham Cathedral Bookshop.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? I was just going to say later on, because we mentioned the monks in the Durham Cathedral were like 200, 300 years after, weren't they? Um,
Yeah.
they were also Benedictine monks, so they were following the same guidelines, but they were like a because the Durham Cathedral, well, the Durham Monastery had become so big and powerful and wealthy by that point, they were much stricter, and
Hmm.
interpreted. And this is the thing with the early Benedictine monks, it was quite like punishments and things like that were not really about humiliation. They were kind of about reflection and prayer and quiet kind of penance and things like that. Whereas, like later on, when you got to the Durham monks, they were like really quite strict and did use some humiliating techniques, like making the monks lie on hard floors if they were noisy during the chapter meeting in the morning where they were reading the prayers. They would make them lie on the hard floors for hours and lock them away in rooms and stuff. But they interpreted the Benedictine sort of guidelines much more strictly than Bede would have done with his kind of peers. So I thought that was really interesting how the more wealthy and powerful they got, the more like strict they were. And they were the
Yeah.
ones that went on that on the retreat as well to that other abbey that we went to.
Because one avenue that I went down, because I was thinking then of them as people,
Yeah.
living this lifestyle,
Mm.
and not necessarily in the Anglo-Saxon one, but some of the Anglo-Saxon, but mostly medieval, there was a lot of what they call marginalia. Now,
See,
I'd not
I
heard of that term before.
don't
So
know what
this
that is.
is like funny little sentences, cartoons, drawings, graffiti, basically, written in the margins of the sacred texts. So you can actually
Shocking.
see
Oh, that's
a
funny.
bit of the personality of the person preserved. And
What
marginalia
From Bede's time?
from Bede's time,
Did Bede
and
do it?
mainly in the 12th and 14th centuries was the heyday.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell you some of what they are. If you Google it now as well, you can see some pictures that are wild. But so I'm just going to list now things that were in the margins. There's
Okay.
things like two wild and crazy headless guys. Um, in one of the manuscripts, on a tightrope with swords holding their heads in their hands. Dragon's tails and severed legs on the pages of the Rutland Psalter. Now, this Rutland Psalter, written in 1260, has loads of marginalia. A severed leg is held by an angry red elf in a blue pointy hat. There's fart jokes. There's monsters and human hybrids. An ogre shooting an arrow into the anus of another weird creature, which looks like an old man with lipstick on and a mermaid tail with an arse. That's also on the Rutland Psalter at 1260. Um,
Wow.
killing like murderous rabbits, taking an axe to a king's head. That's
Oh
in the
my goodness, this is some.
Gorliston Psalter. Knights battling snails. That's really common. And monkeys, but they thought that they were used those as they like hold a mirror to our own like folly. And then a nun, this one is hilarious, right? A nun picking penises off a phallus tree.
I just have Googled that one. That's the one that came up, and I was like, what on earth?
That was from a Roman de la Rose, I don't know, 1325, 1353, I don't know.
Whoa.
Um,
Really dick
I was
pic.
like, what is that about even? She's literally got a basket of willies and willies on a tree. And she's like, oh, gosh.
Just picking them
I was
off.
like, is this supposed to be like the Garden of Eden, but like ruder? It's like Temptation of Willies.
I wonder.
But they're not.
But if the
None of
heyday
that.
of that was when they were much stricter, they were obviously just rebelling.
Yeah. And then one of them's got a nude bishop telling off a, like a defecating cleric.
Oh, golly.
So he's like a nude man going, oi, you! And the other one's like got his trousers down and he's having a poo.
Oh.
That's in the Golston Psalter
But they're
as
quite,
well.
like, still quite like, nicely drawn. Quite detailed.
They are. And then magical beasts. Magical beasts. There's one magical beast that's like a hybrid of like a seal, a deer, an ox, and a unicorn horn.
Just like
What's
full
happening?
on, just like
They're just like,
glitch.
well, hello.
Oh.
It's just funny that they were like, and Spakers said to blah, blah, blah," and then they're like drawing an ass and fart jokes. And I thought, we don't change, do we?
Maybe,
Um,
yeah, maybe the punishments were worth it for just that feeling of like, I'm
and then
rebelling.
obviously, along with that, they
Mm.
also wrote like their own little thoughts um,
Yeah.
in the margins, because obviously it was really boring and
Well,
tiring
some of
writing
them,
things
yeah,
every
some of them
day.
might not have found it boring, but yeah.
Well, found in medieval manuscripts, here are some of the complaints. Thank God it'll be dark soon. Oh, my hand. Writing is excessive drudgery. It crooks your back, it dims your sight, it twists your stomach and your sides. Another one said, it's very cold. One said, St. Patrick of Armagh, deliver me from writing. And
Oh,
then
that's
there's
so
the
funny.
like next level complaint, which is, this is so sad. Oh, little book, a day will come in truth when someone over your page will say, the hand that wrote this is no more.
That's so dramatic. I love that. That would
It's
have been
true, isn't
me.
it?
That would have been me.
And then one of them says, this parchment is hairy. And that's because it was on vellum, which is animal skin, isn't it? It's just someone
Oh,
putting, this parchment is hairy.
it's just a little bit too hairy, this one.
Because obviously we think, oh, they're so different from us. That'd be their everyday reality. They would have been not used to that. But no, they're
Mm.
obviously not. They're like, ew.
Ew. Yeah.
Ew.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I just thought that's nice to see the personality, isn't it? And of
Yeah.
like that they're not like just walking around like saints, like you know. There was even an incident actually where this abbot, I think it must have been, I don't know where, it was an abbot of Fleury, and I don't know where that is, but he travelled to Gascony to advise the monks of a reform of the monastery, right? And then a fight broke out between the group of monks that he brought and the group of monks that were there, and he heard it in the courtyard, and so he went to like split them up, and he got speared and died in the arms of his monks.
Oh my goodness.
So I
That's...
was like, whoa, it's a monk off.
Whenever I think of a monk, I always think of like those little statue ornament things that mum and dad have.
Or the little drunk ones from
Yeah,
the
the
like
little drunk, the little
70s
cute
that were
little chubby monks that are
like had a
with the
comic, reading a comic, having a baguette
brown
and a glass of wine.
brown overalls and
We'll need to put a picture of them on.
the little like they're little jolly, aren't they? And with their like
Yeah, like,
shaved
woo.
heads, which I learnt about actually that the because I was really intrigued with the hairstyle. I was like,
Yeah,
why
what is that
do
about?
they shave the top of their heads but leave the sides? And I found out that it is called a tonsure.
Tonsure.
Which means you shave the crown and you leave the ring of hair around the sides, and it was traditionally worn by the Benedictine monks, so it would have been Bede and onwards.
Yeah.
But it was used right up until the 20th century.
Yeah, but why is it?
It was a symbol of like humility and renunciation, kind of getting rid of that vanity because obviously hair was
Yeah,
seen
'cause
as a
it's
very
like an
vain
awful
thing. It's just
hairstyle.
like absolutely ridiculous. But then some people go naturally that way anyway, don't they?
Yeah.
It made them also instantly recognizable as a monk to be a Benedictine monk, that's what
So
you had to do. So they followed
it
it.
wasn't to make it look like a halo.
No. But apparently, right, because there were, because I was like,
I
when
can
did
see a
monks
halo.
come to, were they the first monks, like, in Northumberland and whatever? But there was monks before them. There was the Celtic monks,
Yeah, I didn't
Iona,
like
but they
them.
had they had a different hairstyle, um, which was also called tonsure, but it involved the front of the head shaved from ear to ear. So they just had the back
The
bit.
front of the
I'm
shaved
presuming
head
that
from
means.
ear to ear. I'll need to
I
look that
don't
up. I
know,
don't
but
know
maybe
even
we'll Google it.
understand.
But I was just like, oh, that's interesting. So you could just be like, oh, look at his hairstyle. He's a Celtic monk.
And Bede didn't like them.
What, the tonsures?
No,
One of
the
the
Celtic
Celtics?
monks.
That's interesting. I wonder if he didn't like them, whether that would have influenced the history he wrote. Because I also was thinking about this. Like,
He thought the Roman Catholic way was the way.
well, yeah, because he was a Benedictine monk. That is the Roman way.
Yeah, but the Roman way rather than the Celtic way.
Yeah, but Benedictine monks were the Roman influenced one, weren't they?
Yeah, and that's why what he wanted. He didn't like the
Yeah.
Celticness.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was against, but I don't know.
I don't know, but I do wonder like how much of that, what we've based so much of our understanding on what Bede wrote. What if it was a load of crock of
Phallus trees. I want a poster of that now. I love it. Wow, what an adventure.
But
What an adventure in the snow.
so one more thing that I was really curious about,
Mm.
moving on from marginalia, was which is fascinating, was the Gregorian chants because I don't know about you, Rach, but I've been listening to Gregorian chants for quite a long time in my life.
Have you?
Probably. Yeah. Have you
Is
not?
this, is this a confession?
I
Don't
am.
know about you,
I'm
Rach, but I
Benedict.
love a bit of Tazo.
Just love a bit of chanting.
It
Um,
was ever since pure classic chill 1992. And I was like, oh my God, am I a monk?
oh, oh, yeah. Do you remember that? Do, 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 do,
Sad.
do. Say that.
Du- 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 du.
Bum,
What was
bum,
the
bum,
monk
bum,
one
bum,
on
bum,
that
bum,
though?
bum, bum. Ba, da, ba,
That was
ba.
that was really accurate.
Was that just so musical? And
Yeah, Bede the musical. That needs to
oh,
be done. Yeah, so your confession, you love
yeah, I loved
Gregorian
it. So
chants.
I have because I find it really calming, and
Yeah.
I was really intrigued about like what they were singing about, and they were just using it as a way to like memorize stuff, and it was a
Yeah,
way that
like
like they taught things to people, and it really helped them to spread knowledge and learning through the use of singing, which I thought was really interesting because we still do that now, but in a much different way for primary school children.
I don't use singing to remember anything.
No, but when you're teaching, you can use songs to help teach, can't you?
Onions and peppers and beef. That's
No,
what I
like the
need for the
planet.
spag
No,
bol.
like I taught all the kids how to remember the.
Oh, at
Do you know
school.
what I mean? How to remember the different continents of the continents song that's
Sorry,
popular on
I was doing my
YouTube.
shopping list.
No, at school, you numpty. Like scholarly. Scholarly. But
Yeah, but can we apply that
yeah,
skill in
absolutely.
our workplace?
Yeah, because do you know why? Because I've come up with a thought process about this. And Bede would have grown up with all that chanting, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And then it made me think about, because I was thinking, oh, it's interesting that I listen to Gregorian chant to like relax and to put myself in a certain state.
Yeah.
And it made me think about liminality. And I thought about like that
Oh,
relaxation sort of element. And I was like, gosh, they must have just been really chilled. And I was like, I wonder if there's any like actual research studies that have been done
yeah.
on the effects of chanting or
Well,
Gregorian
it's like
chant.
mantra, isn't it? And
Yeah,
om
on
and
your well-being. So I found some studies on like the benefits of chanting. Chanting is associated with lowering your heart rate and your blood pressure. So that would obviously calm your
oh,
nervous system. I'll put the
I'm going to
resources
try
for
this with
this.
my new smartwatch.
Yeah, and chanting on group vocal practices shows that the slow rhythmic chanting, it engages the parasympathetic nervous system. So that's linked to reducing your
Yeah.
stress hormones, your cortisol levels.
Horses all over, yeah.
Um, and obviously it's proven already that like singing as part of a group like improves your well-being, and all of that. And I just thought it was a way of regulating as well, and like promoting that positive sort of emotional and cognitive state. And I just thought
Yeah.
that's amazing. I actually did think, can we use Gregorian chant? Could I use Gregorian
Well, let
chant
us know in the
in
next
my daily?
episode
You know what I mean? Like
if you've
I am,
transcended
I
by
am
chanting.
I am feeling overwhelmed today. I
I want to
don't
go.
want to go to work.
Oh.
I'm feeling really angry. I need to calm right down. And then if I got someone to join in, it'd be even
Yeah,
better.
me and you. Video call.
Just ring you up, just like, Rachel, we need to do some chants to regulate. Come on, let's go. We have to do the dippy bit at the end. I really do not like my day today.
I want to eat cake, but I'm on a diet.
And then I think that's what led to me. I do not want to eat this salad.
Imagine you're in Tesco. Do not buy the cake.
Stay
Actually, it
focused.
really helped me if we all stood around the crisp singing that.
You are really strongly on. I did.
Bossing
And
the diet.
just spat on my microphone, sorry. That's where it took me. And I thought, and that's probably why I chose to do my alarm as a Gregorian chant, so I could wake up in that mindset of like, I'm gonna have a real good day today. I should tell you something funny though, because I use my alarms for like pretty much reminding me about everything. I'd set an alarm at work today to remind me to pack away. This is really funny. To remind me to pack away the like little explorers group that I do, my session, because I'd left it in a trolley and I didn't want to forget about it. And I was in the exhibition, which is always really quiet. And it went off, and it just was really loud, and it was this Gregorian chant. And I was like, it's quite quick. Turn my phone off. It was quite embarrassing. Not really.
Yeah, it's never going to be as bad as your alarm that was, Liana, you can get out of bed right now.
It was. Come on, Liana, just sit up, put one leg out.
Liana had recorded her own voice being an alarm to convince herself to get out of bed. And we were once hanging out and I'd slept over and I woke up to, come on, Liana, just put one leg on the bed.
I'm not a morning person. I was trying to, it didn't last long. I was trying to like coach myself. I just button it. Just press snooze. Oh dear.
Well, now you can be inspired by Bede. Get out of Bede.
Bead in your pocket. Oh, that's what we need. I might make a clay one. That might be my creative one to carry around a little
Bede
bead.
says, get up.
One leg out the bed.
Right, we need to wrap this up. We're
we do.
really,
Sorry, I'm just
really
going off
waffling now.
about absolutely nothing.
So that was actually, we say this every time, more interesting than we thought. Who knew? Who knew in Anglo-Saxon? Who knew? Could be so interesting. And what he's done for us today is, number one, revolutionised our calendar, and number two, given us a bit of history, and we're still talking about him right now.
And having a proper giggle, so it's good. Thanks, Bede.
Thanks, Bede.
Well, this has been, I started with like quite
It's
an
been a
intense,
roller
then I
coaster.
cried, and then now I'm laughing and crying. So what an absolute ride. Sorry, getting giddy now.
Okay, right, we will go. God knows what we're going to create. Well, you're clearly creating a clay bead,
I
aren't
wonder
you?
what tangents will come from
Oh my
this.
God, can we both create a clay bead after
And
this?
compare. Let's do it.
Compare, because mine's going to be really bad, because you're really good at sculpting stuff, and
I'm not.
I'm not. Okay.
Oh, I'm excited about that. That'll be good. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then I think you should really actually make a song that's chanting. Chanting.
Well, me and Dylan wrote a song about chips and potatoes last month, so maybe I'll make that one into a Gregorian chant.
Oh, chips
Not
and
chips,
potato.
actually. It's just about potatoes, about the versatility of potatoes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, all right, everyone.
You can be curious about anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for hanging out with us. Yeah, we'll catch up with you next time, and I hope that you are feeling inspired in some way by that. But yeah,
Sorry.
let's go forth and create.
Oh yeah. No.
Okay. Right. Well,
Yeah, that's that then. See you later, everyone.
see you later.
I'll put my songs online.
Yeah, and all the references. Okay.
Sources.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.